Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my series on light workers and how you can manifest your best business with the energy in your business. My microphone is a little bit off. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay if you are watching the replay. Otherwise, thank you guys for joining in. So, I want to talk about the divine feminine and how you guys can incorporate that in your business. So before I get into this, I want to know in the comments below what divine feminine means to you, and what does that mean for you in terms of business. So we've been taught that success requires grinding, pushing, forcing the outcomes. But what if your most powerful tool in your business is the ability to receive? I want you guys to think about that for a second. How many of you guys are actually receiving in your business? And of course, this is not really a man woman thing. This is energy. How many of you are taking the divine feminine approach to your business and to your entrepreneurship? So, this divine feminine approach isn't about doing more, it's more about how to be aligned. And I want to show you a couple of ways you can just start by working with the natural energy. And remember, this isn't a man woman thing, this isn't a gender thing, this is yin and yang. We all have yin and yang inside of us, right? So how do you get in touch with your natural yin and yang energy, your natural divine feminine? You start by getting into receiving energy and starting by going in each day by asking in meditation, in journaling, what how are you going to receive more? How are you going to receive more? And ask yourself, who is already seeking me? We're attracting, we're not chasing. We're attracting, we're not chasing. It's like that whole TikTok thing. If you guys are on TikTok, it goes, I don't chase, I attract. What already finds me will find me. All right. And remember, divine feminine energy is not about being in the energy of competition and lack. There's always more for everybody. Okay, I want you to start to think about that a little bit. We're going to start thinking about the divine feminine in us. So creating offers from a place of overflow and only offering services that light you up. And should I do this? Should I do that? Should I offer more? Should I do that? No, you should only create offers that truly light you up. And I have to say, my whole energy has gotten a lot lighter when I started creating from the places of overflow. And when you let all these clients come to you by word of mouth, that's like the best place to be in. So when you honor from a place of joy instead of a place of fear, your clients can feel it. But your ideal clients will always come from a place of joy, and they will feel that too. So maybe come from a place of joy, maybe come from a place of, true authenticity and happiness instead of things that you feel like you have to do. And then your clients will start to come to you. That's how you can create from overflow. But there is a healing energy that needs to take place here. And this is actually what I teach my clients. in my own client journey, in my own entrepreneurship journey, I had to learn the hard way that there was healing that needed to happen a little bit before I came into that space of true alignment into my business. And I had to heal from so much stuff, from narcissism, from like, all these people that I had to deal with, you know, business, not even like, just partners, businesses, all these things that I had to deal with, from narcissists, from people who weren't who they said they were, getting scammed, getting like all these things that I had to work through and learn, and heal from before I actually created the business that I truly desired and wanted. So maybe creating from a place of true authenticity and true divine feminine energy, where it's more about the receiving. It's more about receiving than pushing. Um, because being told what we have to do is more common. So maybe thinking about those things instead of constantly, oh, I have to do it. I have to do it like this person did it. I have to do it, you know? So creating from that place of true authenticity and true nature is going to be key for you into balancing that divine masculine. Something that a lot of my clients tell me is that I don't feel good doing some of these things. They don't feel good. That's an energy block. You know, Divine feminine energy, that's sacral chakra. A lot of women are blocked there. Sacral chakra is Savasana chakra, and it's known as your divine feminine. It's known as your divine feminine, your ego, your divine masculine. It's for women, this is your womb chakra, your womb chakra. So how are you how are you going into your womb chakra and really creating from that? It's all about creatrix energy. The sacral chakra is also about creatrix. So being in that creatrix center and in that creatrix center, in that creatrix energy. So how are you creating from that space? Are you creating that divine feminine center from that true divine feminine center? Are you receiving, or are you pushing, and are you grinding? Are you hustling? So a lot of the women, a lot of my clients that I've worked with are women, and reprogramming them out of that divine masculine energy. And I wouldn't even call it divine masculine. I would call it a wounded masculine energy, where it's all corporate culture, hustle culture, feeling like you have to do this, that sort of energy. And working 80 hours a week. By the way, if you guys are bragging about working 80 hours a week, and I used to be guilty of this. I used to be very guilty of this. I bragged all the time about how I used to work 80 hours a week, 70 to 80 hours a week. And like, that is nothing to be, that is nothing to brag about, dude. That is nothing to be bragging about. It just means that you literally have no time for anything else. And I thought that was a good thing. And I was just like, that's such a good thing. I'm making so much. I'm like, I'm going to be making so much money. Like, it doesn't even matter, because I'm going to have more time later. And it just never ended. And like, that's the thing. That's what that mindset does to us. It makes us think in that way where it's like, this is the way it's always been doing. This is the way that we've always been doing it. And we're not going to work. We're not going to do this. We're not going to work like this. We're not going to do another way because this is how it's always been done. And there's a lot of that, doing things that because it's always been done. There's a lot of that in our culture, in corporate culture, in so many different areas of our society, doing things because they've always been done. Well, I also think that rules were made to be broken, especially in societies where you feel like, working 80 hours a week, never seeing your family, never seeing, your friends, never doing things that make you happy. I think that's kind of, BS. It really is. It really is. It's kind of BS where we feel like we have to constantly work so hard for a client, you know, whether you're at a job or not, really. I mean, I know people who have clients and they think it's a good thing that they're working 80 hours a week. It's not. It's really not. You're not coming from a place of divine feminine energy where you're receiving. You might be getting clients by, doing that, but you're not putting any boundaries on yourself, putting that boundary on your heart chakra, anahata chakra, where it's like, okay, here are my rules. Don't call me after 5. And if you do, we're gonna, this is when I'm gonna call back, and don't blow up my phone, which, it's happened to a couple people I know. They still blew up their phones, and we've had to have a conversation about that, about maybe letting them go as clients because they can't seem to respect boundaries and time and space. So, sorry, that was my phone. So, we have to talk about those things, right, in our businesses, where we had to we have to constantly talk about those things. Boundaries. Where are we coming from? A place of overflow. I don't know if you guys follow Amanda Francis. She is amazing. Look her up. She is amazing. Google Amanda Francis. And she is Googleable. She is Googleable. It's great because that's where I want to be. I want to tell people, Google me. Which, by the way, I feel like you can. My name is unique enough. My name is unique enough so that you can. You probably will get the actress though. There's a girl named Supriya Prasad in India who is an actress, so you might get her before you get me. But yeah, Amanda Francis talks. If you ever read her book, Rich as I'm censoring myself right now because I know I'm on some platforms that may not like me cursing. So, but it's she has an amazing book, and I highly recommend it for anybody that is struggling with their money mindset, that's struggling with creating from overflow. She constantly talks about what the steps she took. She literally writes out everything, what the exact formula she did to help her create a multi 8-figure, almost 9-figure, I don't know, 8-figure business, multi high earning 8-figure business, the exact steps she took. And it's crazy because all she did was she said, like, I wrote down, if I could have anything I want, what would it be? And she said, don't put a limit on it. If I could have anything I want, what would it be? And then you write down, I'm like, okay, I want like a multi, $1 million home. I want, and she said, she actually says in the book, don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Don't put a limit. What exactly do you want? What is it that you want? And then, and then what you do is you say, okay, and then she says, what is stopping me? What are the exact beliefs that are currently stopping me from getting what exactly I want? So, and I'm like, okay, is there any sort of belief? And then she says, is there any sort of belief, past, present, that is preventing me from getting exactly what I want? And then you journal about it. And then she says, what comes up for you? And then if there's no limitations, no goals, nothing stopping you, what exactly do you want? And it really makes you think. I love that exercise because I keep going back to it because it really makes me think. It really makes me think about what exactly do I want in my life. And it reminds me, I kind of have to do that again because I did this last year and I'm like, wow. But I also felt like there was a lot of stuff I didn't do in the last year that I am doing right now. And I'm seeing major results because of it. Shadow work, huge shadow work. And by the way, I know I've talked about this before, but if you guys aren't doing your shadow work around things like money and things like success, your fears around success, and things like that, you're not going to manifest what you want without it. Okay, I don't care who told you that you can manifest. Yes. Can you manifest $5,000 tomorrow? Yeah, absolutely. You probably can. You probably can if you say you have $5,000 in your bank account and it's coming in every single month, and like you're repeating it you're doing all those mantras and all those things. Yeah, you can. You can manifest that dream life. You can manifest that dream life. You can manifest all that by just doing that. You can. But here's the thing, before you know it, that there's going to come a crash. A crash, which Debbie Ford talks about in her book. And I'm going to keep repeating this book because I feel like a lot of you light workers need to read it. It's called The Dark Side of Light Chasers, and it's a fantastic book on how to do shadow work, on getting to know your shadow. If you don't do your shadow work around things like money, it's going to keep coming up. And she specifically says it like doing those affirmations and mantras and money mindset works and money and all of this stuff surrounding my money and singing money and all that stuff, singing a money song and doing all these things. Yes, it's like putting ice cream on a pile of poop. And that's exactly what it is. You're going to feel good. You might manifest money. You might do all this stuff, but eventually you're going to hit the poop. Eventually, that's what's going to happen. You're going to hit it. You're going to hit all of that stuff. And then what's going to happen? And then all of a sudden the ice cream, you can put all that stuff, and then all of a sudden it's not going to work the way you want it to. And that was a conclusion I had to come to. It's not working the way it wants to. Why? Because I haven't done any real healing work around money. I thought I did, but I didn't. So with that being said, you guys need to be putting all of that energy into creating offers that come from a place of overflow, right? Coming from a place of overflow. You need to set fees that make you excited to say yes. Yes. Not hesitant. Because if you have a little bit of hesitation in your body, you're not ready to set it for that price. And I know there's a lot of people that also say, like, set the price before you're ready. And I also agree with that too. Set the price before you're ready to set that price. You can also include luxurious feminine touches into your client experience. You know, I know people that like to be featured, and they like to do oh, this person just joined my mastermind, this person just said yes, this person, you know, I see a lot of launches, you guys. I look at a lot of launches, I see launches, and I've done this myself where there's a lot of people that join, and you know, they create it more of an elegant, luxurious experience for their clients, and having feminine touches into it, which is great. You know, having that gold touch, that silver touch, even in your logo, which is something that I've done recently. Putting gold touches, that luxurious silk, soft photo, that silk violet plum color silk cloth on my logo that feels like royalty. Those are even into your branding, that actually works so well. It kind of also, purple and gold are my favorite. You can see that I'm wearing purple right now. You can kind of see that I'm wearing purple right now, and you're kind of seeing that I'm wearing all of these things that kind of go well into my brand, right? But make it you. If it's not you to be pink, if it's not you to be, you know, frilly and all that stuff, don't be that. Be that version of you that can receive with that. And make that your brand experience. Make that your branding. Make that your technique. Make that your signature. Because it's not going to be authentic. It's not going to be you. The age of the influencer, by the way, the old influencer, the influencer that fakes things, that age is gone. We are headed into an age of raw authenticity. We are headed into an age of people wanting more of authentic nature, and we're headed into the raw, authentic influencer, and not the fake crap that we have seen before. So, with that being said, bring a little bit of you, of that feminine version of you that isn't fake, that doesn't feel fake, that doesn't feel forced. Bring that version of you into every single thing that you push out there. Because then that's when you be the magnet, that's when you be the receiver. And I have helped all of my clients come from a place of receiving. In that way, I have helped all of my clients manifest from that place, manifest from clearing and doing all that work to clear their chakras in their body. And when I see their chakras, I can see that they are working on it, not just working on it, but really coming from a place of true flow instead of a flow that didn't feel right to them. So, with that being said, if you are interested in learning more about this and working with me about this, go ahead, check it out. Make a call, the LumiFlow diagnosis call, where I go through your chakras, do a chakra scan, do an energy scan on you, and intuitively see where your business is headed next. Create a roadmap on your healing, on how you can heal that part of your business that you feel like you can't get through, those blocks that you can't get through. I can definitely help you with that. The link is in the description box below to book. And yeah, that's it. If you guys have any more questions, check out my other content or, feel free to reach out. Thanks, you guys. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everybody.